All right. Thomas Massey, thanks for coming in, man.
Absolutely.
Good to see you, dude.
Good to be here. Just had to cross the state border to get here.
Yeah, that's what I see from Kentucky. And you drove, like you just took me into your home, in your camper home vehicle.
It's a F-250 with a truck camper, and I lived for 2 solid years in it in D.C. Still occasionally do.
And where would you park that thing at?
Well, I don't want to disclose where I park, but I did get in trouble. I parked the truck camper. It's a Super Duty. It's got even though it fits in the back of a pickup, it's got a shower, bathroom, stove, and a fridge.
Oh, it felt super when I was in there. That living arrangement in there, I could have definitely cozied up. It felt very cool. The milk felt cold in there. We had a little cup of milk, which is definitely it's
raw milk.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. Hopefully,
don't tell anybody I crossed state lines with that. But so here's a funny story. I was parking this truck camper in D.C. in a congressional lot, and it got hotter than the hinges of hell in the summertime in this parking lot. So I ran a little extension cord over to the electric car charging station so I could run the air conditioner on my camper at night. Well, the cops like to park. They didn't know I was living in this camper, and I would park close to a Sprinter van, and the cops would park between me and the Sprinter van to take a nap at night.
Oh, so everybody's working together.
Yeah. I would look out the camper and do a wellness check on them at night. They didn't know I was looking out for them. But anyways, one night...
That's diplomacy. It's how it all works. It's like everybody's kind of hiding a little bit behind the other group.
One night, it was like that movie Bridge Over the River Kwai. They found my 50-foot extension cord and followed it over to the electric car charging station. They said, damn, there's somebody living in this truck.
Yeah.
So my chief of staff got a call from the speaker's chief of staff, and he said, we think your boss is living in lot 28. And he said, what do you mean? In a pickup truck?
Yeah.
And I told my chief, don't call him back. Let me settle this. So we have a don't ask, don't tell arrangement. As long as I don't start a KOA or something in the congressional lot, I can live there. If
the cops are getting a little bit of shut-eye, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're able to operate a grill, or a little 2-stroke motor in there, something to keep the blender working.
Well, I got to mix my medical margaritas in there and keep the raw milk cold. So what I eventually did was cover it in solar panels and took off the old air conditioner and put a mini split on the back. So it looks like the Millennial Falcon now.
Oh, yeah, it definitely looks like the guy that's in there. It definitely seems like you want to get his fingerprints. I feel like. That has a CODIS vibe outside of it, But that's isn't it, a lot of your vibe is that you're off the grid. I've heard that.
Yeah, off the grid in the camper and off the grid at home. So I haven't bought public utilities in 20 years.
Wow.
And that, that kind of ties into when I go to D.C., that gives me some independence. Because if everything goes to hell and I'm no longer a congressman and I don't have a job, I still got a house where all my own utilities are taken care of. It runs off solar, got a backup generator, got a well that I dug. And it just gives you the sense that, okay, the worst day in Kentucky is better than my best day in D.C.
And this is you right here. This is you right here.
Yeah, that's one of my gardens, and there's some of my chickens clucking around.
Oh, yeah.
I built a mobile pen that moves with the chickens to keep the coyotes from eating them. Now, it's like a Roomba. Think of a Roomba with 50 chickens in it.
Okay.
Moving around in my yard. It runs on solar, collects rainwater, and it takes care of my chickens when I'm not there.
And what makes it move? How does that even work? Bring that up, Trevin. Can you get me so we can see what I'm looking at?
I don't have any footage of it on here, but I call it, so it first ran off batteries and a solar panel, and the batteries went dead, and I'm like, this sucks. I don't like taking batteries to a landfill, because I was trying to come up with a green way to raise chickens. So I figured out a way to do it with supercapacitors. There's no battery in it, and the supercapacitors never wear out, and I call it the Klux capacitor.
Is this kind of an example?
Yeah, that's what it's like, except mine moves itself. Mine's like a Roomba version that's robotic.
And so what is the point of it moving?
Well, chickens poop, and you don't want them walking around in their own poop.
Oh, yeah.
They also like to eat a certain amount of grass and bugs. And so this gives them fresh forage, and it keeps them out of their poop. They don't get disease. It fertilizes my yard. It mows my grass. Everything's all happy in the Klux capacitor.
I got to get a damn chicken, dude. Or a little batch of chickens. I got to get something. I almost bought my mom 2 goats, but for years, she's like, give me some goats. And then she didn't want it. She just has a problem with everything. But anyway, So what is a flux capacitor?
Clux capacitor.
Okay, what is a
It's the circuit that I designed. So I'm a double E by training, electrical engineer by training. And I just had to come up with some way to keep my chickens alive and keep them healthy while I went to DC. So I came up with this circuit board that's got capacitors that trickle charge from a little solar panel the size of a sheet of paper. And it's got an automotive winch in the front, so it can pull itself even if it weighs 2,500 pounds along a cable.
So you don't pay an electric bill?
No electric bill, no water bill, no sewer bill. I do have an internet bill because I use Starlink.
Oh, yeah. And is that legal? Are you allowed to legally be a person like that?
Well, you know, they tried to bring more regulation to our county 20 years ago before I was a congressman, and I wrote letters to the editor and mobilized people, and we stopped them from bringing more regulation to our county. So it's still legal where I live.
Wow, because it seems like a very like libertarian or almost like like a lot of the ideas seem almost very like something you would see like on the Democratic Party, which sounds kind of wild, you know?
Oh, I say I'm the greenest member of Congress, and no Democrat has come after me. No fact checker has ever tried to check that fact because they know it's true.
Wow, it's kind of crazy that the greenest member, with the term greenest, is now a Republican because you wouldn't necessarily think that.
No, you wouldn't think that. I mean, I have a Tesla that charges off the solar panels on my house, collect rainwater. I dug a well. I've got a bunch of trees that I'm not cutting down. They are bringing in all kinds of CO2. Although I like CO2, I wish I had more because it makes my peaches get bigger on my farm.
Oh yeah,
I raise grass-fed cattle.
And what kind of group do you have helping you over there? Because I don't think you can't get out there first thing every day and do it all.
I do it myself, 90% of it. I mean, if I'm in D.C. and the cattle get loose, I got a neighbor, you got to have some neighbors that'll help you.
Yeah.
And the deal is I'll help them when they need help. Oh, there's a picture of my cattle. They are Angus crossed with Wagyu. I call them Wangus.
Oh, wow.
Wangus beef.
It's a little, it's a little urban over there. Definitely. That's definitely,
There's the, not the black sheep, but the white cow. He kind of stands out. I say I feel like that white cow in DC some days. Do I really belong in this herd?
Yeah. Yeah, you seem like a little bit of like an outsider, I think, like a black sheep or like a maverick. I feel like people say, if they talk about a maverick, then they say Thomas Massey, How much money do you save by living the way that you do, like off grid?
I don't think I've saved a dime. It costs a lot to do it. You can save money by heating your house with wood, which I do. But if you start counting how much you're paying yourself when you chop that wood, it's probably about $3 an hour.
Right.
And I could go work at Dollar General and make more money than I do when I save money heating my house with wood. So if I were completely, poor, I could keep living, but to set all that up took a large investment. It will probably pay off by the time I die.
So you just want to end the book with even books.
Zero, yeah.
Yeah.
Just clear the tab when I leave the bar.
No debt.
No debt. Yeah.
Yeah, because you always wonder, like, okay, I want to live off the grid. But there's a real cost to it. But a lot of that cost is sweat equity. Do you feel like?
Yeah, it's sweat equity, and it'll pay back. Unlike what we're doing in DC,